Hey people, welcome to this webinar by First Principles. I would like to thank everybody who is joining us live. I'm Shivraj from First Principles and I'll be your host. I'll be your webinar host for today. Our focus today is on the recent Google algorithm update. Everyone in the marketing and the growth is aware that every year Google releases a series of updates to make the search landscape a level playing field. It's like lifting the ranking of the site that have done exceptionally well during a specific time period. If we see, actually only few sites get the benefit. And again, for some, the ranking goes down. Okay, so essentially the point out that the need to update the content so that it matches the user intent and is also in line with the update in the industry they are in. So this year, Google decided to release a broad core update, and it was out from May 25th till June 9th. So it was a massive algorithm update with many sites seeing a ton of volatility early in the rollout. To understand what this update was all about, the impact it had on the website, how companies specifically like SaaS companies can deal with the changes in. We're joined by Pushkar Sinha and Augustin. Pushkar is a digital marketing manager and an SEO research lead at First Principles, and Augustin is a senior digital marketer at Syndication. So I have a couple of questions that I've lined out so that I can go and ask Pushkar and Augustin. So my first question goes to Pushkar. Pushkar, starting with a very simple and most important question is, what was the focus on the recent Google updates?
Thanks, Shivraj. Let me try and answer this question. That what was the focus of the recent Google update? To understand this core update, broad core update, which was launched in May 25 and rolled out till June 9th, we need to understand the overall history of the previous updates, because since those updates, this broad core update was in making. If we go back to November 2021, there was a broad core update which talked more about which emphasized more on content and brought the concept of EAT. And that's where the other updates were also coming in about content enhancements, improvement. And in between, there were two other updates to improve the page speed. First, it was rolled out for mobile, then for desktop. So all in all, the intent of Google is to ensure that users get best results based on their search queries. So Google is trying to understand more about the intent behind a query and then trying to present best data or best result based on the intent of the queries. Now let me highlight the update page shared just after the update. Just a minute. Let me share the page. Is it visible?
Yep.
Okay. As we this highlighted paragraph here what Google is saying, that we confirm broad core updates, and post update those sites with that experience drop will be looking for a fix. We want to ensure they don't try to fix the wrong things. Moreover, there might not be anything to fix at all. Now, when we go back to the question that you asked me, like, hey, what is the focus of this recent Google update? The focus is to refine itself rather than pointing or doing anything with the site or any particular website. So what Google is trying to improve its own search results. So the emphasis is more or less on improving search results. They introduced a new thing called video indexing in this core update. So videos will be indexed and will be updated. Also, they are refining the search queries. For example, a page was ranking for, let's say, 100 keywords, out of which 10 or 20 might be the really targeted keywords, but the rest of them were really loose semantically or not really targeted. So earlier, before this update, the pages were ranking for them, but after this update, which when it rolled out, the pages saw that there are no more ranking for those keywords. And in refining the snippet, that is another aspect that this update was about. So I think this whole idea about improving the search results, and working on basically understanding the intent of search queries is basically was the focus of this recent Google update, Shivraj.
Got it. Pushkar, coming to my second point or the second question, wanted to understand what's your philosophy on dealing with SERP fluctuation that these update cause, and are there any strategies that you implement beforehand to stay ahead of these changes?
Okay. So yeah, it's a very commonly asked question. Shivraj faced. I mean, most website owners generally ask these questions a lot because hey, this core update has rolled out. What should we do? Shall we start acting on it? So the first thing is no need to panic. Just wait for 2 to 3 weeks. Give it a time. I mean, see how exactly your serve positions are for your targeted keywords, and then try to understand what has happened to your pages. Are you seeing any decline? Are you seeing any upward movement? Or are you seeing any downward movements? So the idea is to understand page wise. So the best thing is to do to go to Google Analytics and just try to understand which pages are affected. The next screen, which I'm saying, like in this, if you can see, this particular website just after the core update started seeing decline in organic search volume, and also started seeing a decline in number of impressions. Let's So what exactly must be done? For that, what we need to do is, let's go to the Google Analytics and do a page-wise comparison, where we need to put time duration before the update, core update, and a duration. Let's compare between these two time periods, like before the update and after the update. So the time period that one can take is, let's say the update rolled out between May and June, end of the May and beginning of the June. So time period April and July is optimum enough to understand and compare, like what is happening with the pages. So as you can see in the screenshot, you're seeing, like definitely a decline. The pages were getting a lot of views before the update, and after the update they have lost page views. So there is definitely a decline. But this step will definitely help them to identify the pages which are doing too early. Once the pages are identified, and website owner has identified the pages, they need to go and look at the comparison in Search Console and see what has happened. So the idea here is to identify, is there any ranking drop for the targeted keywords, or have we lost the ranking for the keywords which we never targeted? Because when we write a content having 2,000 words or more than that, there are chances that the content or the page might be ranking for a lot of keywords which we never targeted. So here we can see in this in screenshot that before we are getting clicks were good, impressions were good, but after the update there is definitely a loss of impressions. So we need to understand in this core update what Google has done. So two major impact areas were the keyword, the search queries were refined. So wherever Google crawler found that for these queries, search queries, there is a better page, obviously those pages are given preference, and loss of snippets. So Google is continuously refining the snippets and trying to give best of the results to its users. So in this screenshot, you'll see the difference that, okay, position loss is not that much, but definitely clicks and impression loss is there. So doing this sort of comparison, will generally give an idea, like, what needs to be done to identify basically the impact of a core update. And now, what strategies that we need to implement to be, to stay ahead of the changes? I think the focus again has to be identifying the gaps. For example, the keywords which were really not targeted on the page and still were getting ranked, are those keywords important? We need to identify that gap and prepare and make sure that they are in our content calendar, and we should work on adding more content based on that, and staying focused on originality of the content. So a lot of content which is, since the last update, broad core update in 2019, again the emphasis was on the originality of the content. So the content which is original will perform far better than any content which is having 40,000 or 50,000 similar versions of it. So the idea here is to make sure we always work on original content. I think that's what is required to stay ahead in this game. Hope that answers the question.
Yep. Uh, Pushkan, I want to get back to you as my next question is directed towards Augustine. As Augustine, as I mentioned, is a senior digital marketer at Syndication Pro. So Syndication Pro is a B2B software for real estate investor. Augustine, I wanted to understand the SaaS side of Google update. What impact did it have on the ranking of Syndication Pro?
Yep. Thank you for the question, Shivraj. That's a great question. I know you've given a quick intro for Syndication Pro. I'd like to add to what you have said. So Synpro is actually a SaaS platform that helps sponsors to raise capital faster. So whatever the options that a sponsor would need to raise capital faster, that Synpro has, like right from a CRM or an investor portal, things like that. So when it comes to SaaS industry, there are a few challenges that we have faced, right? But the main impact that we have, in SaaS when it comes to broad core algorithm is, you may see, ranking wallet being really going up and down and things like that. When we were reviewing the performance right after the broad core algorithm, we've seen a pattern. The rankings were going up and things like that, and some of the loosely targeted keywords were actually dropping. So we were actually checking out, okay, what are the keywords that are improving, what are the keywords that are declining, right? So we understood that some of the keywords that we were trying to rank for more than a year, or some of the keywords that we were trying to rank for almost 4 to 5 months or something like that. What we have done back in December, we have optimized some of the pages, to rank for certain keywords that were not ranking after 2 months or 3 months. But after this recent broad core update, the keywords that we would like to rank for, those kind of keywords were actually started to rank. Even though apart from even though the keyword has a little bit of ambiguity in it, but still it started to rank for, because Google actually based on the content, Google found those kind of content is actually should be rewarded, and some of the keywords that we were not targeting or that were loosely relevant, they were completely out of the top 100 positions. So yeah, when it comes to Syndication Pro, ranking is definitely one of the major impact that we've seen after this update.
Augustine, I do have a follow-up question for this. With each update, Google says that they aim at improving search overall and getting the right answer to the audience. So I'm a bit curious as to how the makeover update impacted the overall site, impression, click rate, and etc. And how you've been dealing with these changes.
Yeah, as you said, first of all, the ranks were being very volatile, especially after the update, right? Immediately after the update. We've seen some of the keywords are some of the keywords that were ranking, after 30, after third page, after fourth page, that were immediately started to rank in top 10. And some of the keywords that were in 20th position or 30th position, that were completely out of top 100. So that's a big change when it comes to a business, right? So some keywords are ranking, some keywords are moving out of top 100. And especially when it comes to Syndication Pro, the major change that we've seen is impressions, the decrease in impression. There was a decline in impression. So let me show you a quick graph that can definitely help you understand better. So for example, when it comes to average keyword position, so as you see, this is the before the broad core update. So if you see, the average position is 41, and if you check the clicks, if you check the impressions and things like that. So this is what the status at that point of time. But after the update, if you see, the impressions, have gone up. The average position, as I said, has increased. So this is due to the keywords that actually, the keywords that we were trying to rank for, that keywords that are closely relevant, has improved its positions, right? So, and one more thing when it comes to the impressions. If you see, we've seen a decline, around the end of May, and starting the 1st of June or something, and then later on it started to pick up. And as you can see, around June, it's completely in the upward trend. So these are the major impacts that we've seen when it comes to Syndication Pro. But dealing, to answer your question, how to deal. The simple thing is, having a proper content, robust content plan. So, I mean, apart from doing whatever you're on page, you focus on, if you're focusing on snippets, if you're trying to rank for snippets, apart from all other stuff, you need to focus on having a proper, robust content strategy. So that would definitely help any come out of any crisis like that we may see after a broadcore update.
Augustine, I have just one last question before I move on to Pushkar. With the Google updates happening at least once a year, what are the biggest challenges that you face in in-house SEO? Or how do you, if I may put it in a easier word, like how do you evangelize SEO within an enterprise's organization?
Okay, that's an interesting question, because when it comes to SaaS SEO, we do have some unique challenges, right? So if you compare SaaS SEO with some other type of businesses, you may not see these kind of challenges, right? So first and foremost is, as a SEO, first thing we see when it comes to SEO SaaS is, we see challenges from aggregators. So whatever the bottom of the funnel keywords, when it comes to SaaS, our ultimate goal is to generate leads, right? So especially for bottom of the funnel keywords, if we would like to target a pillar page and want to generate leads, if you go search for your bottom of the funnel keywords, at least one or two aggregators will be there, in the SERP. So that is definitely one of the biggest challenges, and we came out of that. We came up with the different kind of strategies to outrank those aggregators as well. And there's another challenge that I would like to point out is, some of the keywords will be ambiguous. So it's not completely irrelevant or something, but for example, there's a keyword like investment management software. So this investment could be any type of investment, right? So as we are focusing on real estate investment, multifamily, raising capital for multifamily, but this is investment management software is completely can be taken as into another vertical as well. So some of these keywords, also we would have to target, in terms of lead generation and all that. So to come out of this, couple of strategies we have followed, and we succeeded as well. So first and foremost, as I already mentioned, make sure you have a robust content plan, right from understanding, ideating the content, right? So what type of content are you going to write? Which part of the funnel that your content is going to hit, right? And what type of keyword, what is the intent that you're going to meet, based on with the content that you're going to create. So definitely, as I already mentioned, content plan, having a robust content strategy is the best way that you can come out of this. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Augustine. Thanks for that information. Pushkar, if I may come back to you, let's talk about more of, adapting to these updates. So, as these updates are unpredictable, how has your approach to adapting to the algorithm changed over the time, since it's every year recurring back to back?
Shivraj, slightly, I'm not sure about this unpredictable the updates, they being unpredictable, but somehow for last 3-4 years there is a certain pattern with Google in terms of the way they are rolling out updates. So it's not that predictable. Maybe in the years when they have refined everything in terms of content, and as the competition grows, I think more or less it's more about user, and the focus is always the user, the person, the individual who is performing a search. So in a way the results may be unpredictable, but yes, the updates are more or less somehow predictable, because when core algorithm update was rolled out for content improvement, I think they improved it further in this year, when they were focusing on page speed and page experience. So it was rolled out for mobile, so desktop was also expected. So I think that's all about. Recently, in this last month, July, I think they rolled out another update, product review update. and which brings emphasis on how exactly a product review must be written. It's not about the review that people add to any site. I think those sites need not to worry about them, but the product review, when somebody is writing about or creating a page to write a review about a certain product, I think that's where this review update, I mean, they had a lot of updates regarding this particular issue. So I think it's continuously they're enhancing and improving all their mechanisms to give better search results. As I said earlier, like the approach in adapting the changes, I think our focus in first principle always has been on robust content strategy, not not going towards creating content for our clients in terms of commodity based content. Like if there is a topic which has been written 40,000 times, we don't take that approach, right? We have a different approach where we research and try to address all the aspects of Google SERP, right? And try to address and try to be available for all the SERP features. It's not about the organic ranking these days. That old era of 10 blue links is over. It's now you have a lot of rich snippets, you have feature snippets, and that's where we work on with our clients. So basically we work with the content. We try and see how we can rank the content not only for the organic but also for those featured and rich snippets, and that's where we have been successful. And all the projects, all the sites we were working on saw a decline till the time it was rolling, or some gain, but after that every site bounced back. And so I think that affirms, and then that confirms the strategy. I think what we are working is good enough. I hope.
Pushkar, since we were talking about snippets, we had have a doubt. With the latest update, we see that it's just not the SERP ranking, right? That started changing, but some snippets were also replaced too.
Yeah.
Do you think schema and structured data will help snippets in CTR? Let's say if not, are there any alternative way to retain the position?
Yes, definitely. The snippets were replaced for a lot of sites. A lot of sites saw a decline in terms of impressions and click because the snippets were lost. So I think we just need to move on, because if the content was good and the snippets were chosen by the crawler and they were present, now suddenly they are lost. It doesn't mean that your schema markup had issues, or there was some problem with your content. I think just need to look at the keywords and the keywords that were targeted. Other than that, I don't think there's much to do in terms of schema markup. The focus should be on focusing on new content strategy, robust original content strategy, and addressing and adding more and more schema markups. Plus, there are a lot of other opportunities which are there in terms of snippets, like list snippets, like tabular snippets, like definition snippets. So there we need to work on a content and sit and see, like, okay, can we prepare a list out of this piece of paragraph? Can we prepare a definition or maybe a tabular comparison out of this paragraph? Those things are going to help a page to get featured for a lot of other snippets. So I think focus should be on addressing and getting more content published, deployed, and that will help, I think, in adding more snippets. I think this particular way definitely will help.
Yeah. Pushkar, just one last question to you, if I may. With these fluctuation and also due to the impact of change in the workplace scenario had on the market, some marketers have started pulling their budget partially, or even we see them completely, not just for ads, but I've seen for SEO as well. What would you say if someone told you that they were pulling their SEO investments?
It's something that one has to see, because still in inbound traffic, the 53% of traffic still being contributed, or is the source is organic, and it's much better for even for e-commerce sites. I mean, it's almost 65%. The conversion rate is also very good. So the question is like the updates definitely uh, increase the challenges, but it doesn't mean that SEO is like, it's not an important pillar. It still is the important pillar, and a very robust pillar, right? Which still bringing a lot of inbound traffic to any site, whether it's e-commerce, enterprise, SaaS, or any vertical. SEO is there. You just need to, as a website owner, one should understand what exactly is the intent of people who are searching, and how best content we can develop and produce, so that people are able to come to our pages, and we can take care of the competition as well. There is one more thing which we see, and there is a lot of study which has gone in this. A lot of enterprise companies, SaaS companies, even e-commerce website owners, uh, when asked like, okay, what are their top challenges in SEO? So the most important and number one challenge they mentioned was tech SEO fixes. Like 50% of respondents said tech SEO fixes, and they are still pending. They're not able to complete. The second was content creation and deployment. I mean, they were ready. They were ready with the plan, but how to deploy, what sort of a policy we should make. So second, in terms of issue, this particular problem was there. The third was figuring out what sort of structured data markup we should address, what type of structured data we should be, or what type of schema we should be working on. And then internal linking and page speed, which is really an important aspect these days, and SEO testing. So why these are pending with all these companies? Because mostly they don't have the right human resource. B, they lack the right development team to address these problems. I think if these problems are there and there is a lack of resources, definitely answers a lot of queries where when people are saying like, okay, SEO is it really beneficial? When these issues can be fixed and can give a lot of boosting in rankings, I think this needs to be looked at, Shivraj.
Mhm. Thanks for that information, Pushkar. So, guys, before we wrap up, are there any final thoughts you would like to share with our viewers?
Sure. For me, I will reiterate the importance of originality in content, Shivraj. Commodity-based content is like, okay, there is a keyword which I want to rank, but what topic? Then there's a question, right? What topic? And then to address that keyword, we go into the loop of creating a content which everybody is writing. We can still address the same keyword and target that keyword with original content. And originality of content will come for a given topic by researching on it, by coming up with our own research and bringing a lot of value addition for a visitor. If we're not able to do that, that content is not going to work. Commodity content after this update is not going to work.
Augustine, if you want to add anything, then.
Sorry, I was on mute. So, yeah, simple. Have a robust content strategy. Make sure that the content is pretty focused to the target audience. Never try something like a blackhead technique. Don't go near to anything like blocking or things like that. So that would definitely, get you, or that would definitely have a big negative impact when it comes to, especially when it comes to broad core algorithm. So yeah, definitely. Like if you have done a good job in terms of content planning, and if you still see some volatility in ranking, make sure like you have some patience. As Pushkar already mentioned, let's not panic. Don't panic at all. Wait for some time, and see how it reacts after a month or something like that. So yeah, that's about it.
Thanks for those updates and thoughts, Pushkar and Augustine. I think for me and also for our people who will watch this session, it has been a very informative session. I would like to thank Pushkar and Augustine for joining us. Thank you everyone who has joined us live or who's watching us. Bye bye.